Hey guys, welcome to Juicy Tea, where I read out the best stories on Reddit, so you don't have to. The funny, shocking, and satisfyingly juicy. Today's video is Sussy Sunday, where we try and find the truth. My husband shaved my head, posted by a throwaway account. Our first post comes from the relationship advice subreddit. Me, 31 female, and my husband, 30 male, have been married for 3 years. And together for 5 years before getting married. We've always had a healthy, harmonious relationship, or so I thought, and welcomed our daughter 3 months ago. Yesterday morning, we were getting ready in the bathroom. My husband was shaving next to me while I was brushing my teeth. Out of nowhere, he takes his electric razor and runs it through my head, shaving off part of my hair just above my forehead. At first, I thought he'd just pretended to do it, but then I saw a big chunk of my hair falling into the sink. I didn't get a complete bald spot, but the damage is clearly visible. It's important to know that I've always had long hair reaching the middle of my back. I've never cut it short, let alone got a buzz cut. And my husband likes my long hair too, and has never told me to get a different haircut. I totally freaked out, started crying and yelling at him while he was laughing. He told me it was just a prank, how it wasn't a big deal and it was just hair and I could grow it out again. It might never grow back properly, and in that spot, right above your forehead? He just randomly wanted to humiliate you for months while it slowly grows back. For a prank? Oh my god! We had a serious fight afterwards, and in the end, he did apologize, admitting he was an a-hole, but still insisting it was a prank and was funny, at least to him. Although he apologized, I still can't forgive him. I'll either need to wear a hat or a scarf, brush my hair over, or get bangs, which I normally wouldn't do due to my face shape, to cover the damaged area. It will take years to grow out my hair again to its current length. However, what I'm most concerned about is that he still insists it was funny. I just don't get why he'd laugh at my misery. It seems borderline sadistic and abusive to me. I'm also afraid that he'll do something like this again in the future to me or even our daughter because he finds it funny. I don't think I'll ever be able to forgive him or trust him, and I'm seriously considering getting a divorce. On the other hand, he has never done anything like that before. It seems totally out of character. He isn't a prankster and has never made fun of me before. We've never had any marital problems, nor big fights, not even after the birth of our daughter. Until I make my mind up, I don't want to talk to my friends or family about this, as I don't want to be pressured into deciding either way, or be judged if I don't take their advice. Should I divorce him over this? I think this is pretty clear divorce territory. Is this like a crime? Assault or something? I don't know, maybe it depends where you live. Down in the comments, Joking Around says something pretty eye-opening. I don't think it's a coincidence that she just had a baby. This is the real him. He thinks he has her trapped and she won't leave. So he can be as cruel as he's always wanted to be. This is just the start. That is terrifying. Am I the a-hole for not telling my wife that I had a vasectomy? Our next post comes from the Am I the Devil subreddit, posted by Party Yogurt Closet 7. I've been married to my wife for 2 years now, and she's always wanted to have a child with me. She mentions it often, and I've even been trying to have one with her. The problem is, I had a vasectomy, and she doesn't know. And I can see why this was moved to I Am the Devil. My ex-wife came over to drop our 3 kids off. She's pregnant by her now husband. Her and my wife were talking about her new baby and if she knew the gender. Now, my ex knows that I've been fixed, as I did so after our youngest was born. Well, my wife says, "I can't wait to be pregnant. We've been trying to have a baby with no luck, but it will happen when God allows it." My ex just smiled, and then she looked at me, and I knew what she was thinking. She texted me later and told me I needed to tell my wife the truth, that she has baby fever, and it was cruel to give her false hope, and pretty much just call me an a-hole. So, am I the a-hole? I know, it's a little dishonest, but it would break my wife's heart to know the truth. A little dishonest? Saying that Joffrey was a bit grumpy is a little dishonest. Saying that Jigsaw is just really into his games is a little dishonest. What you did is a big fat lie. Trying for a baby when you know that you're fixed? Come on, mate. You can't really be this heartless. This guy really is the devil. It sounds like his wife's dream is to be a mother. I suspect he had the kids he wanted, moved on to a younger woman who's never had kids, and was worried she'd leave him if she knew that he'd had a vasectomy. So essentially, he chose to deceive her, so he gets what he wants, while secretly taking away her choice and destroying her dreams of becoming a mother. She deserves the choice to walk away if this is a deal breaker for her, or potentially look at adoption. Although, it sounds like he's done having kids and doesn't really care about what his wife wants. So yeah, the dishonesty makes him an a-hole, but the deception, trying for kids, running out the clock while knowing how important it is to her, all this seems very cruel and totally makes him the devil. Am I the a-hole for telling my sister that her husband set me up with a pimp? Posted by Practical Oil 6910. I, 19 female, was set up to go on a date with Jack, but my sister's husband, Blake, 32 male. I was over at my sister's house with her, Blake, and their children about 2 weeks ago, and Jack came over to drop something off to Blake. We met, and I thought he was cute. Blake later told me that Jack had asked my number, and he gave it to him. And since I've been single for a while, Jack is a good guy, and I should give him a chance. Jack and I went on a first date later that week, and a second one 2 days ago. Things were okay. I wasn't crazy about him, but it seemed like we were compatible, and I enjoyed our conversations. He told me that he works as a mechanic, but never spoke much about it, and dodged most of my questions, which I thought was odd. During our date 2 days ago, he told me he wanted to be honest and tell me the truth about him because I'm his dream girl, and he can see himself with me long term and needs to know now if I can accept him for what he is. He told me he's a pimp. He's the manager at a strip club, which is actually just an illegal brothel, and his job is to find girls willing to do the job and find men that want the service. It's illegal in our country, and pimps probably get a decade in jail if they're caught. I was honestly shocked, and I told him I'm not interested in dating someone who does that for a living, and left quickly. I called Blake and asked him if he knew what Jack does for a living, and he said, "Yeah, what about it?" I said, "What the F do you mean, what about it? Why wouldn't you give me the heads up about that?" And he said, "You're acting like he's a murderer. Relax. Not even he owed you that information." I was honestly very pissed off, and I told him to F off. Not even he owed you that information? Interesting. I wonder what he feels he doesn't need to tell OP's sister. I wonder how they know each other. I told my sister what happened, and she had no idea Jack was a pimp, and got angry at Blake for setting me up with him without telling us what Jack actually does. Blake also apparently lied to my sister that Jack was a mechanic and only found out the truth through me. So they're having quite the fight at the moment. Blake called me, but I didn't pick up, and he later sent me a message saying, "I hope you're happy with the anxiety you've given your sister, all because you exaggerate and overreact to every little thing." Oh please, he's just upset he got caught lying to his wife. Down in the comments, everyone's pointing out a way darker aspect of this story I didn't notice. Firstly, OP's 19. Jack's age isn't listed, but he's a pimp, a strip club owner, and he's friends with 32-year-old Blake, so probably in his 30s. Then his job is to find young gullible women to pimp out, and he's fully love-bombing OP with the "you're my dream girl" stuff on the second date. Everyone thinks OP almost got trafficked, and the scary thing is, they might be right. And to end on a lighter note, younger brother kept stealing from my room, so I returned the favour. Our last story comes from the PettyRevenge subreddit, posted by R. the Crazy. So, many years ago, when I was a college freshman, 18 at the time, my younger brother, 12 at the time, would constantly take things from my room. Pretty typical behaviour, but I'd always tell him to just ask, and I probably wouldn't have a problem with it. However, he was notorious for not returning it and tearing it up. It was bad when I lived at home, but it got worse after I left for college. I came home for Thanksgiving break and noticed that some of my things were missing. I went into his room, and there they were. I told little Broseph to stop, and if he wanted something from my room, to just call and ask first. I also warned him that if he kept it up, there would be a reaction. When I came home for Christmas, more stuff had gone missing. Since experience is sometimes the best teacher, I decided to reciprocate. While little Broski was still at school, I went into his room and removed all of his clothes. And I hid them. To be fair, I just stuck them in the hall closet right outside his room. Later that night, about 8:30 or so, he was taking a shower, and then all of a sudden I hear a, "What the heck? Where are all of my clothes?" He comes down into the living room with just a towel, freaking out because he can't find any clothes. I casually mention that I had warned him before and I'd taken all of his clothes. He starts screaming and then turns to my parents to get them to side with him and make me tell him where his clothes were. Unfortunately, my parents were pretty much in stitches and did not rally to his cause. Eventually, I reunited him with both his under and overgarments, and I warned him that next time he would have to find them on his own if he continued to take my stuff. After that, he started asking to use my stuff, and I like to think that I helped save him from a life of degeneracy and misery. He's now an orthopedic surgeon, and I'm pretty proud of him. You're welcome, people of the world. Feel free to mail me my Nobel Peace Prize. Remember, I post new content every day, so subscribe for more juicy tea.